What if I told you we already know what went down in the Void Century, and that's courtesy of Order 66 of Star Wars? Egghead spoilers ahead. I know this sounds like I'm just trying to make a connection to Star Wars for May the 4th, but you need to consider how much Oda loves this series. This is not a secret, this is very apparent. Just simply consuming his manga, you would be able to tell that he has taken inspiration from this series. Now let's look at Emperor Palpatine and the King of the World Emu. Both are cloaked, all-powerful rulers who have control of this insanely destructive weapon. It shoots lasers from the sky to just wipe out territories. What if Palpatine's rise in power could also explain emus? For those who don't know, he was a chancellor at first, and then he turned the Galactic Republic into a galactic empire, and he became the Emperor. When it comes to the world government of One Piece, we know the first 20 rulers made an oath that none of them would sit on this throne. As we know, Emu was one of these first 20 rulers, these same 20 rulers who created the forces to take down Joyboy's faction. Following this great war, Emu sat the throne, though it does feel like there was some deception here. There's a lot of factors of Palpatine's plan that I haven't discussed, but one major obstacle in his way was the Jedi Council. But he figured out a way to get rid of these guys, and it worked so well. It turns out these soldiers supplied to the Jedi were actually a part of his master plan to take them down. When the time came, he just cut these Jedi loose, and that was that, for a majority of them. But before that, he made it seem like he was chill with them. Of course, why wouldn't he? Is it possible that something similar happened with Emu in the Ancient Kingdom? Now we're going to get into a pretty big manga spoiler of chapter 1181. If you don't want to be spoiled on this, then do not watch further. The fact that we have this scene of Emu and Joyboy seemingly just casually chilling could indicate that they were cool with each other at one point. Natural takeaway from that could be that Emu straight up betrayed Joyboy. And it would also make perfect sense that these 20 kings turned on Joyboy's faction and hunted them on the orders of Emu. Vegapunk said they had no other choice. That's how robust Joyboy's faction was. What if that faction mirrors the Jedi Council? No other choice also could indicate some Domi Reversi involved, which is similar to the inhibitor chip that is in the clone helmets. But we also have to keep in mind that the Jedi Council was not perfect by any means, which could be another parallel. Vegapunk went out of his way to say he doesn't know which side was right or wrong. There was a clear wrong side when it came to Order 66, and maybe the same can be said for the Great War. I think what Vegapunk's words could indicate is a similar thing with the corruption in the Jedi Council. Before Emu thought about Joyboy, he said domination is the only true bliss in the world. Isn't that right? So maybe Joyboy's faction wasn't perfect in a similar way to the Jedi. I mean, that would have to be part of the reason why Emu was able to get these 20 rulers to assemble an army to fight the faction, even if he simply just Domi Reversi'd all of them. Because it does seem like if Emu manipulates emotions of someone, they can have better control over their demon form. So that's why I feel like there could have been some event like Order 66 during the Great War. Also, Emma and Zunisha still being alive does not dispute this theory at all. If you weren't already aware, there have been quite a lot of characters who survived Order 66. Disregarding this entire theory, it kind of makes you think about how many other survivors of Joyboy's faction there could be from the Great War. Seeing as the two confirmed characters in his faction are not human, I really like the theory that this owl from Elbaf was in Joyboy's faction. As far as I know, there's not a whole lot to prove this. People have just seen this chair next to the owl and kind of speculated on who could have used that. Obviously, Ryuma isn't still around, but I do believe that he was a part of Joyboy's faction, and that's part of the reason why it was so robust. Ryuma being from 400 years ago is from a One Piece magazine. These are not made by Oda. Keep in mind the same words they used to describe the time period where Ryuma lived is the same ones they used to describe the Void Century. But I brought this guy up because I really like the idea that Zoro's ancestor was a companion of Joyboy, which feels like a similar situation to Bogard. We don't know what happened to G-Guard during the Great War, but his descendant Bogard being alive is a really good sign.